I'm Rena Annobil and I dare to inspire. So, my name is Rena Annobil and I am a radio producer, radio presenter. I'm a podcast host. I am a scriptwriter and I'm a mom of three.
A woman of many talents and super busy. So thank you so much for being on Dare to Inspire. I love to speak to people that I really like trailblazing in their field. So could you share a significant moment in your life that inspired you to pursue your passion? Now you've got a lot there, but like what your passion is.
Yeah. You know what? I think that what I'm doing now, I kind of wanted to do it a long time ago, like ages ago, and I was kind of steered towards a career in accountancy, which is so bizarre because I know, listen,
Oh.
it's not me. So that was a sensible career I was supposed to do. Me and my sister used to do a pretend radio station in the kitchen as kids,
I love that.
you know. And then in 2002, I think in my head, I was going to move to London and I was going to get a really amazing job in the BBC, producing and presenting my own TV programs, I thought. Now, I think I was a bit delusional about how easy that would be to get. But then in my mind, I was like, well, I don't see why I can't do that. And I really believed that I should be doing that, right? And then met a lot of people along the way who were like just dismissive or made it seem harder than it was to do. And I spent a lot of time producing other people's programs, right? So even getting into production was quite difficult for somebody with who had done a finance degree, right? At one point, I think it's when I'd had my third child, and I'd really had a few knockbacks or people saying, "You're not a presenter," you know, or "We've got enough people to do this," or "No, you can't have this job." And I just got sick of it. And then after I had my third kid, I was kind of like, well, I'm producing people's shows, and I was working freelance at Radio 5 Live at that time. It was about 2017, and um I was making a podcast. I was literally cutting a program to make a podcast and setting up panels. And in my head, I was like, I could do this for myself about topics that I want to talk about. So why don't I do that? And that led me to, in 2018, to start my own podcast, The Sisterhood of Mummy Imperfect. Before that, I had started a blog called Mummy Imperfect. So it all kind of followed on from that. But this was in the time when nobody cared that much about podcasts and they were just quite a new thing, not like
Yeah,
now every other person's got a podcast, right?
yeah.
However, then it was like quite a new thing. And that led to me starting that podcast, and then everything kind of has followed on from there.
That's amazing. And like I can definitely resonate with a lot of what you're saying there, but that it's amazing that you kept going. Um, and we'll get on to that, like how you did that and things like that. But as you were growing up, was there anyone that was like your role model? And like how did they influence your journey?
If we're talking about professional role models, when I used to see people like Sonia Diol on, I think it was, what was that program? It was a TV program, and it was
Yeah.
on Saturdays or something, Network East or something like that. It was something like that. And I used to like live for that program, those kind of programs. I was like, oh my God, like I want to be presenting this kind of thing. And I was very into Indian arts as a kid because my parents, the way that they are, my mom was doing Bharatanatyam, my dad was inviting singers and classical musicians around to do performances at the house and things, and like,
I love
organizing
that.
community shows. So this is what I had grown up in. So all these things came natural to me to kind of be aware of what was going on in the arts and music world. And would look at people like Sonia Diol, and then Mira Sayal. I thought she was like brilliant with writing sketches and performing them on Goodness Gracious Me.
Love
And then
that.
the fact that she was a writer as well, actress, writer, funny woman. So that was really inspiring to me, and I still do find her really inspiring. Even, I guess, Anita Rani, and she's not even that much older than me, but then I was at a stage where she was probably doing what I wanted to do, and I was kind of working in the team around her, and I was like, oh, she's really good, and I would love to do that, and I'd love to have a chance as well. So I think these women, yeah.
I love that there's so many women like that, and obviously you're like that for so many people as well. It's just crazy how there seems to be like a lot of barriers, which kind of leads me on to my next question, which is what challenges, I know you've touched on some, but what challenges have you faced as like a woman of color? Um, and in this industry, and how did you overcome them?
Mm. Um, I think this industry, it does make you think that, well, sometimes there's a mentality like there can only be one of you. Oh, we've
Mm,
got a token brown girl now.
yeah.
Sorry, we already filled that. So it's not going to be you for another 10 years, that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's really it's like, oh my God. And it actually ends up people pitted against each other, or having this scarcity mentality, and women of color not supporting each other because of the
Mm,
whole kind of um for a while, and I think maybe things are changing a little bit, but it's been like, oh, there can only be one of you, one black girl, one black guy, one Asian, you know what I mean? That
yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. And that is a challenge, because it's like, well, what can you do about that? Because sometimes it's like the problem goes, it's bigger than you. And
Mm,
sometimes there might be, I'm being quite careful about what I say here, because,
mm,
I don't want to be out of a job. But
yeah.
I think, but I think nobody really is going to say, I think in some situations people don't say we filled the brown person or black person quota,
Mm,
but you are, and therefore sometimes I think you're made to think that, well, just not you, no, keep trying. And that can be disheartening, because you're like, well, what is wrong with me? Um and I think overcoming those is there's more ways to do it now, because you can start your own thing, and
yeah.
then you'll show what you're about, right?
Yeah.
And then people usually end up coming to you. Oh, I've seen what you're doing, you've done with this. So
Mm,
I'm a big believer in doing that kind of thing, like um making your own way and showing people
yeah.
what you're about. But um at a time when I started saying out loud, I want to do these things, I think I was probably already like late 30s, or like probably over 40 when it came to presenting. And then by that point, it's in some people's eyes, it's like, well, our target market is a little bit younger, you're a mom and you're over 40, and
Well, you don't look
you
it, if that helps.
well, thank you. And you don't know how to use a radio desk and these kind of things, like stuff that
Mm,
I felt like people have expected me to know before. Um, and I think that I had to overcome my own personal challenges to learn things, to become better um with technology, with lots of different things, learn editing technology, how to use a desk and things like that.
yeah.
And so I think that was um, a bit of an obstacle personally for me, and a challenge, and
Mm,
also just kind of um, finding a niche, because some places that I have wanted to work for, it is one of those where if I was like 10 years younger, I think they would have been more open to it, because it's the target audience is
mm,
is younger. It's okay.
yeah.
Young at heart.
Yeah, young at heart and in the face. So, can you share a story about how you've inspired someone else or made a difference in their life? I mean, we could use me because I feel like you inspire me a lot. But we use someone else.
Well, I'm glad to know that I have.
Oh, 100%. I mean, obviously, you haven't said to everyone like what you do and what you present on. I mean, that would be good to also share.
Um, what the show that I do.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm happy that you've been inspired by that, and maybe others have as well. But the show that I do is a weekly show, which goes out on BBC Local Radio on 6 different local radio stations in the south of England, and it's a celebration of South Asian culture, arts, and community. And I really love doing it. I get to speak to loads of amazing people, play some amazing music. And really, I feel like a sense of pride that I'm getting to showcase our culture and community in this way, and also give people a voice,
Yeah. And you
which is
won an
nice.
award.
Oh, yeah, I won an award. Yes, I
Oh,
won
you
an
just have
award.
it by you. Do you have it?
I won an award. No, I don't. I don't carry it in
Oh,
my
I thought you
bag.
were like, yes, here it
No,
is.
here it is. Yeah, that,
Oh,
that was really nice to win the award as well, and I was really surprised. But yeah, I won an award for best radio show at the Asian Media Awards last
yeah.
year, last October, which is really nice. And so like, that was even a sense of pride as well, to kind of um, first
Huge.
of first of all, to represent local radio at something like that, which is a very much like a national scale thing. So, you know, that was really nice to be able to do that. And then also just the fact that it's like, if anybody wants to look at me and think it's not too late to do things, you know, and you can do these things and you can learn and give things a go, then I'm happy for people to look at me and feel inspired if that is going to resonate with somebody. But another thing where I feel like I have given back recently, and I think has inspired some young people is, and I haven't actually spoken about this
Oh,
before publicly.
okay.
It's like my little secret saver that I do. Um, at my daughter's school, last year, I started a radio club. So, like once a week after school, I used to take my little mini desk, roadcaster thing, and my microphones and headphones and everything, and take it in to the school. And we used to be in a classroom, and there was like a group of like 6 to 8 children, and we would make a radio station. It was a radio station,
I
a school
love
radio station.
that.
And so, I was like, okay, so you're going to produce, you guys are going to be the presenters, you can be the guests, and you can talk about a specialist subject, your pet rabbit or whatever it is, right?
It's so
You could
cute.
do like sports report, or the school came second in cross country, that kind of thing, right? And then we can play some of your favorite songs and you can introduce them. And so we were making like 10-minute radio programs. And then these radio programs were then broadcast in the classrooms by the teachers
Oh,
when
I
they were doing
love this.
something like that. So then the kids used to be like, "Oh my God," like, and they used to be laughing along to what their friends were saying. And um, I just thought, something, I just want to give back because I've got this stuff and I've got these skills, and this is something new for these kids. And it really, I saw their confidence increase when
Yeah.
they were doing this.
That's
Um,
amazing as well because schools don't necessarily teach it. Obviously, Unity
they don't.
101, the community radio, they
Yeah.
go and do stuff, which I've spoken about before. But to have somebody who's a live presenter like go and do that in their daughter's school is amazing. And that is so inspiring. So inspiring. Little minds.
Yeah,
So
and
cute.
it was supposed to be for like 5 weeks, and then there was so much demand for it, and then people used to say to my daughter in the playground, "Oh, get me into Radio Club, 'cause I know your mum runs it. Get
Oh
me
my
in.
God, hilarious.
Let me please let me do it next time. I'm on the waiting list." And I was like, "Oh my God, I've got to keep doing
Oh,
this now." So that was an ongoing thing last year, and
oh
we're probably
wow.
going to again, yeah.
You've
So that was
created a
it was
beast. I love that. I
nice.
love that. What message do you hope to convey to other women of color who may be facing similar challenges to what you've spoken about in their careers?
I think that we're in a time where we're quite lucky in a way because we have platforms to actually put ourselves out there. And I know that I said, oh, every other person has a podcast these days. So what? Be
Yeah.
the other every other person then and say your thing, what you want to say. And obviously now there are podcasts which are people can, if you want to be somebody who just talks, has a cup of tea with your friend and talks, fine. But if you want to find a new way of doing something, or you want to research at something and present yourself in a certain way and add value to something, add value to people's viewing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You can have a chance to do that. There's a niche for you because
Yeah.
there's a niche for everything. And I think that that wasn't available when I was in my early 20s and I wanted to do what I'm doing now. um, and I think that's why I was kind of begging people for jobs, begging people for opportunities. Oh, please let me come on. I know I'm a producer, but can I please read the text messages out? Um, you
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
please let me read the
I
text
feel
messages
you.
out on a, and it was made into such a big deal that I
Mm.
was so nervous when I did it and tripped over all the words, and
Oh.
it was a disaster anyway the first time I did it.
I love. I mean, the begging
But
doesn't stop though, does it? We had this conversation
the begging
yesterday.
doesn't stop. And that was my other thing. So first of all, use the platforms that are available to us.
Yeah.
Social media is, I love and hate it, but the one thing that I love is this connecting people and like a way to channel your creativity. And
Yeah.
then the second thing is keep up the begging.
Yeah.
Keep
Keep
up
up the
the,
begging.
keep popping up, you know, and talking to people, making those contacts. And because I believe that a lot of people sit there and say, "Oh, I really want to do this. I'd love to do this one day," and just start. And I think that it doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm sure that half the content I've ever put out there in the world has been cringeworthy, but so what, it's a start, and it doesn't always have to be perfect. And I'm a firm believer that if you are actually doing things, if you are making progress towards your goals and you've sprung into action and you're trying things and you're out there making contacts, what you're doing is you're generating a really positive energy, and then something good is going to come out of that positive energy. And the thing that comes out of it might not even be the thing that you thought would come out of it. It might be some other thing, some tangent, which is also good. But I really believe that something is going to come out of that.
Also, you're a bit of a comedian, aren't you? You were talking about videos, but I'm sure I've seen some comedy videos
Yeah.
that you've put out. I love that. So, is that something you're gonna do more of, or
I always said that I was going to try stand up, but
love?
I'm too scared and I don't know. I don't know anymore if I will. But the reason I did those videos was because I write as well. So the genre that I like to write is comedy drama, and I've produced theatre shows before, and like my own work, and directed them. And I've had a little
Is it?
drama
Oh,
short on
I just
BBC Three.
directed them, and like,
So I had like a commission on BBC Three a few years ago,
wow.
and that was quite a big deal for me. So because I like writing comedy, and instead of kind of just thinking of these sketches and putting them in a drawer somewhere or having them on a folder on my computer, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like act a few out and see how it goes. And from that, weirdly enough, I actually got called to do an audition for this theatre tour thing. I don't want to be an actress at all, and that audition confirmed the fact that I really don't want this. However, I love to create the sketches and I love to write things, and I really appreciate humor, and I feel like I just want to like I get through life by seeing the humor in everything.
I love that. Well, if you ever need a random actress, I'll do it and you be the writer who will make
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
I love that. In all everything that you do so much and you're very modest. Obviously, the whole of the south of England is your show. So it's a big, 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 big show. Um, how do you maintain, your mind, your self-care, how do you put yourself first and keep yourself going? Because, us creators, we're constantly thinking, like our minds are constantly going,
Mhm.
how can we get the next thing? So how do you
Yeah.
maintain that?
Um, yeah, I exercise, and that is really my way of keeping like mentally sane, because I do have it's a busy household. I've got three children. There's
Yeah,
two rabbits.
must
There's
two
my husband.
rabbits. Don't
There's
forget the
three
rabbit
dogs. Yeah, you
and
don't
the
forget the
husband
rabbit.
and the husband.
And I just feel like that helps me to kind of deal with the everyday stress of life,
Mhm.
different stresses of life. And also it's like a timeout. And the endorphins and all that is flowing through me. So I feel like that's how I look after myself. Because really I want to be that person that gets manicures and I'm like, yeah, I'm taking time out, I'm getting a manicure, I'm getting a blow dry. But I don't think I am that person. Realistically, it never happens. It always drops off the to-do list. But these are the non-negotiables, to the point where when I'm looking at my week, like on a Sunday night, I'm thinking about the week to come, and I'll actually schedule in all my workouts. That this day I'm going to do this day I'm going to do this is the hour for this, because that is really important to me.
And my final last question is, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would
Mhm.
it be?
So I think I would have said to start sooner and be a bit more bold with your aspirations. Like I know that nobody in my family has done this. They've all, do you know what I mean, had quite safe jobs. Be the one who can say it out loud. Do you want to do this? Keep pestering people. All the advice that I've said, I
Yes.
wish I said it to myself then and found some kind of avenue. There wasn't social media or anything, but I think there probably were some avenues that where I could have made things. And I feel like that would have been a good thing to do, to kind of just uh, do what I want, put it into practice so that I could show people what I was about, and don't be scared or shy about doing that.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being on Dare to Inspire. You inspire me, you inspire so many people, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. And yeah, it's been nice to talk to you. And you're doing amazing as well, by the way. So I feel
Oh,
like you do
thank
a lot of
you.
things.
You're very, very kind. Thank you. Thank you. We will
Yeah.
say bye to you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
I'm Rena Annobil, and I dare to inspire.